asking is, what is the expertise that you have and other Moms for Liberty advocates have to decide that a book, an award-winning book like All Boys Aren't Blue, isn't appropriate for students to read? What is your expertise?
What a tragic story of a young man who's anally raped by his adult family member. So you have incest, rape, pedophilia. Joy, you said you'd let me answer, so I'm going to answer
Please
for you. In what context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? I mean, that's my question to you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a great and wonderful day. And yes, we are starting early. In fact, I started a little bit earlier than everything. And that's mostly just due to the fact that I'm doing a lot of research and stuff before I do all this stuff. So here we go. Well, we have Reid, our great protector in all of this. And it seems to me that a lot of the NBC, the far left, are maybe possibly pedos. And the reason why I have to go on to this assumption is that defending the book that we would that they find from all the trans people is disgusting. It's because it contains a lot of horrible material for people that we probably just don't want. And there's a reason why it was banned in the first place, and we'll go over that. So, as you've seen from the video, from the beginning here, the very beginning of the video, you have seen that Reid is going to go out on a tear here to defend this, and we're going to go exactly why. We're not going to go through the full 30 seconds, so we're going to continue onwards. But we have this here. Moms for Liberty founder blasts Reid's demand that books with incest, rape, and pedophilia be allowed in schools. Moms for Liberty founder Tiffany Justice appeared in an interview with NBC host Joy Reid, who pushed Justice to accept that books containing topics about strap-on and dildos and incest should be allowed in public schools for children. Reid pressed the question of why liberal parents can't have the right to allow their children to be able to read the book All Boys Aren't Blue, which has topics concerning anal rape, incest, strap-on dildos, and many others that would not be appropriate to many parents of school children. She argued that passages about these topics are taken out of context in school board meetings. Right. Justice explained that the book is about a young man who is anally raped by a family member when he is a child, and then asked, in what context is strap-on the dildo acceptable for public school? So we're going to go on with this as well. We have observed moment NBC's Joy Reid rips into Moms for Liberty founder for seeking to ban school book that features underage kids discussing blowjobs and strap-on dildos. Reid attacked Tiffany Justice over her expertise and questioned the propriety of the memoir All Boys Aren't Blue, which is banned in 29 school districts, for good reason. Justice shot back, in what context is strap-on dildo for a public school? I mean, that's my question to you, and we have all this stuff. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go through this. We're going to view this together because it is quite reprehensible. Alright, so we have this here. Let's look and take a breather.
You're presenting yourself as somebody expert.
It's the gentleman.
Hold on. Who's the main character in the book?
The main character is the author.
What's his name?
George, I believe, is his first name.
Because you're giving me very specific information that is.
You're asking me to remember the name of an author.
You
the
just
name of the
remembered
author
very
doesn't.
specific names.
Joy.
Here's my question.
We're talking about
Here's my question.
You didn't answer my question.
No. I'm going to answer your question.
Great. I would love to hear that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm interviewing you and you're not interviewing me. So let's just make sure it's a conversation. Okay,
great.
So what I'm saying to you is that as you are not an expert in this book,
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school. I mean, come on, let's get real.
This book is a full context story, as you said, of the author's experience. Why is it your right, or a Moms for Liberty activist's right, to say that a parent who wants their child to have access to this book, which gives a personal experience of this author, why doesn't a liberal parent, for instance, or a parent of an LGBTQ kid, why don't they have a right for their child to just have access to this book? Why is it your right to say they can't?
Before she responds, I'm going to say something here. There are reasons why we prevent books or sexual explicit content or very brutal content or bad content being handed down to children. Part because it really exposes and messes up their minds at a young age. This is the reason why at a certain age you start allowing kids to be able to watch certain movies or stuff. Now, there's anime I would love to show kids, and that would be okay in my realm of watching it. Now, I'm not going to go show them Rurouni Kenshin. Even though majority of it is mostly heartfelt, there is a bit of stuff in the actual anime that you wouldn't want to watch. Or Yu Hakusho, where you wouldn't want to watch either because it's still a bit more graphic. But there's quite a few other video animes, like the Miyazaki films and stuff like that, that the kids can easily watch, and it wouldn't be a hard issue with them. It wouldn't be hard pressed. There's plenty of anime that kids can watch. It's not bad. But the reason why we don't want kids to be watching stuff, because as I said before, it messes up their minds. And we don't want kids or the school or our government releasing very graphic sexual stuff to kids that would mess up their minds. Now, she's right in the sense that you should have the freedom and the liberty to show you what your kids want by the church and by the adult. But, however, you can't just have this stuff being released to kids if it's obviously shown statistical data that this harms kids in a very negative way. And Joy Reid is going to go out here and defend this. They're saying that allow rape, dildos, and all this other crazy stuff, pedophilia and all that stuff, to be allowed in schools. It's quite disgusting, really.
So again, we're talking about incest, rape, and pedophilia.
And each parent, each parent has to decide what is appropriate for their child to read. So I want you to answer. I'm going to ask you one more time.
Right.
What is your right to tell a parent who wants their child, who might feel seen by this story? Why don't they have the right? Why don't they have the right as a parent to say, my child can have access to this book?
If a child feels seen by this story, that means that they have been the victim of a predator. That means that they have either been raped by a family member, they've experienced
and your proof of that is what?
You just said that
What's
if a child feels seen by this story.
You're now making assumptions about it.
No, but if a child has been raped, we should do a lot better than put a book on a library
shelf. Now you're literally creating.
No, I'm going to have to defend Moms with Liberty here, because again, the point of the matter is that it's one thing if you're showing it in your own confines of your own home, right? And there is no horrible implications about it. However, when it comes down to actual graphic material that is negative for children, which we're going to go over, by the way, it is not going to be good, period. Straight up, just bad. So we don't allow this material. The same thing to where we don't allow schools at a certain age to show explicit and bad content to children. You just don't do this. It does a very bad damage to their psyche. So we don't allow this. Joy, why are you defending a book to be shown to children that has a very explicit and bad content to children? Please explain to me why you would want children to be allowed to see this. It is very odd by you. I'm not quite sure why you would want this content shown to children, other than you being labeled to you as a pedophile. Because I, for one, do not want my children seeing this. Now, if parents want to allow their kids to see this in the comfort of their home, fine. Of course, I would want those parents arrested, in my personal opinion, but that's their choice. However, when it's in a public setting, you do not just show this stuff to kids. It's barbaric. It's horrible.
Creating a story behind a child that you don't know. Let me show you a form. This is a form that can be obtained in Broward County, Florida. Okay. I'm going to show it to the audience, and then I'm going to show it to you. Okay. This is called the opt. Yeah, please. I'm going to hand it to you. Thank you so much. It's called the opt-out form.
Okay.
An opt-out form would allow any parent, because you said you are in favor of parental rights.
I am.
It would allow any parent to opt out of their child being able to take books out of the library without their parents' permission.
Okay.
So that Moms for Liberty, why not advocate that every school in America have an opt-out form so that a parent who doesn't want their child to access a book like All Boys Aren't Blue,
right,
that they can make that choice? Because then each parent, including a liberal parent, a black parent, a parent who wants their child to read a book about African American history, then we
want children to read books.
Why not just...
Hey, first of all, Joy Reid, they've been doing this behind the parents' back. They have not been letting parents know about these books. These books have been hidden behind the parents' back. There's a reason why parents are now in an outrage and fighting back against this. Because they didn't know about these books until fairly recently. It wasn't until 2021, or 2020 rather, where they shut down everything for a whole bloody year, and then parents got to see things that what their kids are seeing in schools, and parents are like, wait, hold up, We don't agree with this. And that's the reason why the schools were hiding this information, hiding these books from the parents. So the parents were completely unaware of what was going on. They were not allowing parents to see this. So, Reid, I hate to burst your bubble, but there wasn't a chance for parents to even chance to opt out on this. They were being hidden from them, Joy. They were being hidden from them. This is the reason why we have a problem with this. We would have, majority of parents would have already opted out with this. We were never given a chance. Parents were not given a chance to do this, Reid. They were not.
Opt out for yourself rather than tell other parents what they can and cannot.
First of all, I think what you're talking about here is a wonderful step in the right direction. We should be having conversations about this. This is about local control. A lot of these decisions are made at the local school board level. And that's where these decisions should be made. And there should be vibrant conversations about what's happening in our public schools and what kids have access to. Joy, however, maybe we could just put all the books with all the graphic sexual content, the dildos, the rape, the incest.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Let's do a back room. Let's put a curtain up in the library like they used to do.
One moment.
Remember when we were little and you would go to the video store?
The books that Moms for
Again, another thing that Joy Reid is always constantly doing is that she is not allowing the person to speak. She interrupts constantly when she can't be, when she's facing down facts. This is part of the thing that the left do, by the way. They don't let you finish your point ever. They just constantly go on and go on and go on and go on, and they don't let you finish the point. This doesn't help you, Reid. This hurts you.
And they put those
books that Moms for Liberty
with pornography.
I know that I've seen.
We could just do that in the public library.
I have seen tapes of what Moms for Liberty does, and you all go into school board meetings and you read graphic stuff.
Disingenuous conversation.
No, it's not.
There's America used to understand that there's something called age-appropriate content.
Right, and here's my question again.
On movies.
Again. Ruby Bridges goes to school.
Yeah, that's what we have here. Now, guys, if you haven't switched out of this yet, which you probably shouldn't, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. So, we have exposure to sexually explicit material. Many parents believe that their children have not seen inappropriate content online, but kids are saying something very different. The reality is that children as young as 8 and 9 years of age can easily come across sexual content on the internet, and most notably, graphic adult pornography. Although most, if not all, of this type of material is legal, it is far from harmless to children and teens who view it. Most often, children are accidentally exposed to explicit material by incorrectly typing in a web address or words into a search engine, and they unexpectedly find they are on a site they did not intend to visit. Nonetheless, research suggests that early exposure to sexually graphic material is likely to have a negative influence, and a potentially harmful impact on children. The signs, there are signs you can watch out for that may indicate your child is experiencing distress from having viewed sexually explicit content material online. There are noticeable changes in your child's typical behavior patterns. They seem easily agitated, overly sensitive, and emotional. Your child mentions the image they saw as interfering with their other thoughts. It seems to keep popping into their head. Your child begins to experience difficulty sleeping. Your child is spending more or less time online than usual. If you notice changes in your child's behavior, let your child know that you notice they seem out of sorts. Ask if anything is okay, if you can help in any way. So, and then it says tweens and teens. It's normal for tweens and teens to be sexually curious, and in fact, to seek out special material. Yet, adolescents who are seeking information about sexuality and relationships do not have the experience or knowledge to compare to some of the graphic material they come across. The result is that the material can end up being a teaching tool, influencing their development of attitudes and beliefs about relationships, sex, or sexuality. Pornography is not reality. It creates confusing expectations, attitudes, and beliefs about what to expect in a healthy sexual interaction. Pornography makes sexual violence seem okay, but that being aggressive will get you what you want, and that no means yes. Pornography reinforces gender stereotypes such as guys call the shots and girls are meant to be used for sexual purpose. So, it portrays people as objects and things to be used as not as a person. Exactly. So we already know that this has negative effects on children. This is being obviously talked about. And obviously, guys, this is what the problem we have with Joy Reid here, is that she is constantly ongoing and doing stuff like this, defending a book that is obviously quite bad and should never be defended in the first place. And what we have here is that from this, it says, All Boys Aren't Blue is a memoir and manifesto aimed at young people. The author shares their experience of growing up black and queer in the U.S., reflecting on their family identity and sexuality. That's what it says. but why is it, what is the most banned book of all time? And then it says from George Orwell, and then, and why is this book and why is it banned in schools? All Boys in Blue is aimed at readers 14 years of age or older and has been challenged for sexuality explicit LGBTQ content. It was the second most banned book out of the 2020 school year because of all the terrible stuff that's in the book. And this is the disgusting part, right? So, Joy, you don't know what you're talking about. You're defending pedophilia, and I am questioning if you even like this stuff at all. Because I'm going to call you out. I'm going to say that you're defending pedophilia on Twitter, and I think that this will enlighten everybody on what's going on. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're defending such a book like this, then I can't tell you what else you want to defend for the morality of children. Our morality says that this is wrong, and I also agree that this is wrong. Because I don't want children to have some type of mental disorder or other issues who are being shown this type of filth in our schools. And the fact of the matter is, you're defending this filth. You're allowing this kind of filth. And this makes me think that you may just be a secret pedo. Alright guys, that's the video. Like, share. As always, take care.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.